They say moving house is one of the most stressful things you can do, and we're not just moving house, we're moving out of a house onto a boat. So we're kind of dividing all of our worldly belongings into 4 categories, which is one, stuff that we are keeping and need immediately, and all that's got to come here to this boat. Category 2 is stuff that we're keeping but don't need right this moment. So we're putting that stuff for now on Steel Melody. A lot of it actually belongs to Steel Melody and needs to go back on Steel Melody anyway, and we've been storing it in our shed. But some of it belongs to this boat, but we don't want it on this boat just yet because we haven't got room for it now, but it's going on Steel Melody until we need it. Category 3 is stuff that we don't want and are selling, so that's going on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. And category 4 is skip. So we're skip or burn. So we've been doing frantically lots of this, lots of this, lots of this, and an awful lot of this. And in the meantime, what I've been trying to do is also try and get some boat jobs done. I removed the bilge pumps from this boat some time ago, as you'll recall, to clean out the bilge under the engine. So we've had no bilge pumps in the boat for a while, which is fine because there's no reason why we'd spring a leak. We're not going anywhere, we're not going to hit anything, and there's good, you know, all the ball valves and through holes are in good condition, so there's no reason to be worried, but it kind of plays on my mind a bit. But some exciting stuff is happening with bilge pumps in this episode, along with lots and lots of moving stuff from one place to another. One of the things we get asked a lot is what's happening with Steel Melody. We still have Steel Melody, but the priority has been moving out of the house, and that has been a financial consideration because the house has cost us I don't know, around about £1,000 a month to keep. This boat sat here costs us about £150 a month to keep, 170 I think actually. So we need to get rid of the thing that's hemorrhaging the most money first, which I'm sure you'll agree with and understand. As soon as we're out the house, which is this weekend, there'll still be a few bits and pieces to move, but really this weekend, we're then going to be able to focus on prepping Ocean Melody for blue water sailing and finishing Steel Melody. I'm here for a few minutes now because there's loads of stuff at home in the garage and in the workshops which came off Steel Melody, which now needs to come back on Steel Melody so that we can get her finished and get, you know, and clear the garage. So this water tank is now ready to kind of use again. I'm not actually going to plumb it in and use it as a bare water tank because it's had the baffles cut out, and to do that you need to paint it out with a special food grade, you know, paint that's suitable for potable water for drinking. So what we are going to do is put bladders back in, and I was searching around and got in touch with boatbreakers.com. They've got a Facebook group called Boat Scrapyard, and they're absolutely incredible. I spoke to Luke there, and I managed to get some water tanks to go into these sort of fixed tanks. So we've got one here. Honestly, I can't tell you how good Boat Breakers are. They're just, the amount of stuff that they've got is ridiculous. So we've got one here which is a 150 litre bladder tank. Obviously that paint's still wet, so I'm not sticking it in today, but that will be going in there. Then for the other side, where we've got another bladder tank, we've got this one. So they don't match, but they're the same. This is one of the Plastimo ones, and that's 150 litres. So there's 300 litres of water tanks there. And then this one can go in the forepeak, so that will give us 400 litres of fresh water on the boat, which is loads to start with. There are 2 more water tanks, one under the galley and one under the chart table, so we can expand water wise, and eventually we'll get a water maker. But 400 litres is plenty to be going on with them, and that's a good couple of weeks for our little family. So that's one job done. Now the next thing is, and yes, let me just point you again, boatbreakers.com is the website on the screen now, and Boat Scrapyard is the Facebook group. Go over and join it. It's brilliant. They do competitions and you can win stuff, and they've just got tons and tons of stuff. Obviously not much good for you if you're outside of the UK, but if you're in the UK and running your boat on a budget, which let's face it, most of us are, being able to get stuff. Yeah, they've got tons and tons and tons of used stuff that they've stripped off boats that they've taken in and broken for parts. And a wealth of knowledge as well. So head over and have a look at their website, have a look at their Facebook group. The other thing that I'm going to do, as you know, I've taken all the bilge pumps out because we've been painting bilges and cleaning bilges the last few weeks. And we've got new bilge pumps to go in. So let me show you those. So just look at this. I contacted Whale and said, we need some new bilge pumps. We've got this really old 1974 Bowman. Can I please talk to you about some bilge pumps? And I gave them a list of what I needed, and we're blown away. They sent us as a gift this lot, which is just like, what? That's crazy. I'm just going to quickly go through it, but we're just, like I say, a lot of the stuff that you see on this channel, and we go, oh, look at this amazing thing, this, you know, this, whatever that is, hydrovane and anchor or whatever it is. A lot of that stuff is incredible, and we're proud to shout about how good that stuff is, and we're proud to say, go and buy it because it's amazing, and the company's good and what have you. But most of it we don't get for free. We either pay for full price or get a bit of a discount, as you would, you know. But Whale just put their hand in their pocket and went, no, we'll give you all this for nothing. So look at what we've got from Whale, just amazing. A lot of this stuff's going to take me weeks and weeks to install. It's going to just sort of have to happen as we go on the move. So we're not going to delay leaving Wales to install all of this. We're just going to get the basics in and then spread this over time. So this one is, it's the Gully IC Waste Management System. It's basically a shower sump pump. This here is, again, for the toilet. This is a Gulper black water pump. So we're going to put a black water tank in. Currently, we use the toilets in the marina when we're here. We only use the loo in the marina. And then when we're out at sea, you've got to be so many miles offshore, haven't you? So your water has to go into a black water tank until you're so miles offshore. So this is to pump the contents of your loo. This one is a hand bilge pump. It's the Whale Gusher Titan. This one is for the galley pump to provide pressure for the fresh water on the boat. To go with that, you have a water filtration system. Also for the galley is this, really handy. This is a foot pump. So if your electric dies on your boat, which is unlikely but conceivable, there's a foot pump which you can just squeeze with your foot and at least get fresh water out of the taps. Bilge pump wise, they've sent us, these come in a pair, or they don't come in a pair, but we've got them. So we've got these ones which are 1200 gallons per hour, and they've got an automatic sensor switch in them. So we've got those to go right in the very bottom of the bilge. Now these won't have an alarm on, because when there's condensation and wet clothes and just rain drips getting down into the bottom of the bilge, and this just discharges, chucks that overboard, it's only fresh rainwater. We don't want the alarm going off every time and waking everybody up in the dead of night. Now above that, so somewhere yay high above, we're going to have these bigger pumps which are 2000 gallons per hour, I believe. Yeah, 2000 gallons per hour. These will have switches, float switches on, or sensors on. I've got the sensor somewhere. And I am going to be putting an alarm on here. I don't know if you can probably see that battery, but these weren't from Whale. These were just from Amazon, and they are a strobe light with a very, very loud alarm. See if I can, this is, obviously it's not going to be too loud through your telly or your phone or whatever you're watching on, but see if I can show you what this sounds like. That's really loud. I can't do that very long. It's like 110 decibels or something daft. So that will flash and wake up the entire marina. I've got 2 of those, one for this and one for the other one that will go in the 2 bilges. And the idea is when the water level, if the water level was coming in so fast that this can't cope and this gets overwhelmed, it will then reach this pump and this one will set off the alarm, which wakes everybody up in about a 2-mile radius, which is what you want. And I want it to be loud enough that even if we leave the boat in a marina, somebody on another boat will notice, the marina staff might notice, you know, that kind of thing. And then this one is the final thing. This is a washdown kit. So this has got a pump and a hose lock line and attachments to go out in the cockpit, and we're going to install that in the cockpit so that when we've been out for a swim or we've come in from from being out in the salt spray, you can rinse down before you come back inside the boat, so that you're not bringing salty water into the boat, because once salt gets into your upholstery, it feels horrible, and your upholstery always feels damp and it never dries properly. So I can't thank Whale enough, and we were just completely blown away by this. Absolutely incredible load of kit, and we would have been buying this in bits and pieces over months and months. So what we will be doing is installing it in bits and pieces over months and months. With that in mind, what I want to do is measure to the bottom of that bilge, because I want to build or start working on some sort of system to install one of these and one of those above it in a way that I can retrieve it back, so if I need to clean the filters or anything like that, I can get to it. But you know, it's easy access, and I can stick it down to the bottom of that bilge, and then we'll do the same in the engine bilge as well. Okay, so this is 58 centimeters deep. Right. So how am I going to make it? I've got some aluminium sheet here. I've got loads of this, and I've got some aluminium angle, and I'm going to cut a piece of aluminium to go flush in the bottom, because of course those pumps have got to be sat flush, sat level, and the bottom of that bilge isn't level. It comes down on an angle with the keel, and then there's a bulkhead against it. So I've got to make a kind of platform for it to sit on. So I'm going to measure the size of that platform, cut a piece of aluminium, and then start from there and just kind of do a bit of a Adam Savage one day builds kind of thing. I love that show, Adam Savage One Day. He's a hero. So I'm going to make it in cardboard first. Okay, so this plinth now will sit in the bottom of the bilge like this, but this plinth will allow me to sit the bilge pump completely flat. Bear in mind, anything that I'm doing can be modified in the future. It's not like, oh, you've ruined that, that's going to be completely ruined forever. No, if this is too high and I end up with more water than I want sat underneath it and it smells horrible, then I'll just cut it down, you know. Okay, so here's our bottom plinth with the which kind of sits down into the wedge shape at the bottom of the bilge, and our bilge pump fits on there nicely. And then there's different adapters that you can use. I'm going to be using this one to bring the bilge pump up so that it doesn't kink the pipe as I bend it round. So that's that. What I've now got to do is extend this. So I'm using 2 pieces of aluminium bar, like aluminium angle, like this, to make another shelf a little bit above that one. I think that'll work really nicely. I might have to put some triangulation in just to kind of, yeah, I know how I'm going to do that actually. Yeah, so I'm going to make another shelf for the next pump, about 25-30 centimeters above the top of this one. So as with all things boaty, this took a lot longer to make than I thought it was going to, and I haven't even started the one for under the engine yet. But this contraption here basically supports 2 bilge pumps, one above t'other. The idea being, as I said, the bottom one is the smaller capacity bilge pump. I mean, it's still like 1,200 litres a minute, so an hour rather, 1,200. So it's the Sahara, Atwood Sahara. So thank you very much for that. So that's the little one that picks up the dribbles, and then this one is the big one that pumps out. Well, if that goes off and the alarm goes off, then we've got a problem. It means a through hole has gone, or we've sprung a leak somewhere, and that's when you panic. So I hope I never hear this one kick into action. I'm going to put it down in the bilge now and pray it fits, because I don't want to start taking it all apart again. I maybe should have done a couple of test fits during the construction process. Let's have a look. Right, filthy bilge. Let's clip you on there. There you go. Look at that. Look at that, guys. I don't know about you, but I think that there is an elegant solution. There we go. That is awesome. Very, very pleased with that. So I'm really, really chuffed with that. That's brilliant. I'm really pleased. I think that's going to be a good solution. I'm sort of working from the bottom of the bilge and working upwards, which is a relatively sensible thing to do, I think. It's like the floorboards. I haven't even started on the floorboards and the teak veneers and things like that yet. I want to get the rest of the boat functioning and you know, the wiring done and the plumbing done and all of that kind of stuff, and then I can kind of focus on repairing the water stains to the teak veneer and that kind of thing, all in good time. That's another load done. That's all the sails, I think. We're getting there, little bit by little bit. Whew, it's hard work though, and it's freezing out here today. So there you go, it's raining, like really raining. We've got the bonfire going, we're still chucking stuff on, we're still getting rid of stuff into the skip. It's so cold you can see my breath, and it's end of July, beginning of August here. This is crazy. Right, thanks for watching. Loads more to come. Sorry it was a bit of a bitty kind of here and there, everywhere episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And thanks again, as always, to our amazing patrons who are, you can see on the screen right here, who support the episodes. If you want to become a patron, click the link. In the meantime, you can watch me put some more stuff on the bonfire.